Hi guys, it's me Nat, and today I am joined by Gamage. So please take it away. What's your names, pronouns? How do you identify?
Hi, my name's Gamage. I use they, them pronouns. And personally, I identify as gender nonconforming because it just feels right. Because sometimes I feel more femme, sometimes I feel more masc, but I definitely feel both parts. I don't know. I like to pick and choose what I want from those two identities. So gender nonconforming feels the most comfortable for me.
So when did you first know that you tasted the rainbow?
Feel like in third grade, that's when I knew that like I definitely thought girls were pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I don't know, in elementary school, you're always like walking in line behind people, and so sometimes you just notice that the human form has curves. And boys in elementary school didn't have curves, but girls did, and they're nice curves.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think third grade was when I knew. But I first came out to my friends. I was in sixth grade, I think. It might have been eighth grade. Definitely like middle school was when I first started coming out to folks.
So how did theater impact your queer journey, in positive or negative ways?
Yes, theater was beneficial because there's something to be said about the world of performance being important to artists in exploring who they are as performers or technicians. Because for me, I'm not out to my family, and so I go by my last name professionally and in my personal life because I think that my last name just fits my gender nonconforming identity in a way that my first slash given name does not. And so, I, I mean, without getting too like deep and, like into things or whatever, I think that I enjoyed theater a lot because it constantly feels like a performance whenever I interact with my family because I'm not completely out to them. And so by like getting into world building, be it as a performer or a dramaturg or a technician, I think that it gave me a really good outlet to explore who I am, and kind of exploring how to be comfortable with myself when I am not fully true to myself.
I have to ask, did you think about your outfit today?
I don't want to answer this question. So like for full context, I just got back from Pennsylvania this morning. That's where my partner lives. Um, and so I had packed this as an outfit, but of course, in true Gamagate fashion, it rained the whole time, so I did not end up wearing this dress. But I do like it. I mean, it's Forever 21, so it's not a true batik by any means, but like, I think, I don't know, I'm an earth sign. I like deep, earthy tones. Uh, Flowers are nice. I don't know. Mandalas are cool, so I feel like the flowers have that aesthetic. Maroon goes with green, which is what I think my hair is fading into. Uh,
Yeah.
so some consideration was put into the outfit, but I think also in true Capricorn fashion, efficiency. This was the closest thing that looked great, and so I wore it.
So, what would you say your proudest creation or collaboration has been in theater?
I guess I'll go with collaboration. Um, so when I first started going to MC, I was a graphic design major, and I got involved with Student Senate because I have always been super involved in any and every extracurricular throughout my education. And so I was playing volleyball, but I needed another extracurricular because I'm not actually that good at sports. And so Student Senate was the first club that like I got involved with and everything.
Mhm.
And every spring they do a talent show. I think they call it MC's Got Talent.
Mhm.
And so that happened at the Performing Arts Center on campus. And so I think when our group got in there, I was super excited because I was like, I did theater in high school, so it's really cool to be in like a real auditorium and like, wow, this auditorium is so much better than my high school theater. Because you know, it's a college performing arts center that is used for more than academic theater.
Yeah.
Um, and so they had brought in a couple of students from the theater department to help out Student Senate. Um,
Mhm.
because of course no one from Student Senate is gonna like come from a performance background or like theater and like get how, you know, that well-oiled machine runs. But
Mhm.
surprise, I came from theater and I was super proud to talk about it. And so I'll never forget it was Rooster Sultan, um,
Mhm.
who is also an MC alum, was one of the first people that I met in the department. And the two of us hit it off because like they were just super excited to be there and really happy to meet someone else who was really interested. And the show that was going on was Conference of the Birds.
Mhm.
It was a show that Kenyatta was directing, and they were in need of an assistant stage manager. And that wasn't something I had done before. I had only ever been a lighting board op. And bear
Mhm.
in mind, this is in high school. So, like, very, very different from what MC actually does.
Yeah.
Um, but like I jumped into it and I was kind of like, hey guys, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just here to have a good time. I'm
Mhm.
learning as we go. So like I'm here and I'm doing my best. What's up? And I think that like not only was the play itself absolutely beautiful and breathtaking, but it definitely like reminded me like, wait, what am I doing majoring in graphic design? Like, yeah, that makes me happy, but like theater is what I really enjoyed. And the fact that everyone was just like so happy to be there. And it was just, I mean, every cast that you work with is one of those like, wow, we all just worked together so well to do this show. But
Mhm.
like, I think there was something to say about like just the magic of the world that Conference of the Birds takes place in. Because if I remember correctly, the play is just about a journey and how you explore your identity. And so, yeah, Conference of the Birds is definitely one of those plays that will ever stick with me, but also like it was my first MC show. There's always a place for it in my heart. Um, I did make sure to wear my little Conference of the Birds necklace that was a stage management thank you gift from Brian Boyd. So like the show means a lot to me. I think that was definitely the most important collaboration. And the fact that it came from like an extracurricular that was super super structured,
Yeah.
that like my Capricorn Earth sign brain really enjoyed working with.
Mhm.
Merging with like the performing arts, I think it all worked out really well.
Yay. And honestly, my time at MC Theater was just great just because they let you explore whatever you want and then give you the support and then always believe in you.
Yeah,
And I think like as a creator, BIPOC slash queer, all the things, it just makes you feel really loved and great and eager to be there as well.
for
So
sure.
what excites you about being queer and in your 20s in this day and age?
um I don't know, social media is kind of fun. I feel like social media, or I feel like identifying as queer and exploring what it means to be queer in a day and age where like digital media like TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram and stuff like just makes it a lot more fun. Um,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you don't think too hard about how everything's probably being documented or like data mined for like how can capitalism win from the content that is created. But I think it's just been really really fun because especially with like the pandemic times, I've been able to use Twitter to kind of like meet more people in the DMV queer community that are within like my age range. And that's been really fun and exciting. And it's kind of interesting just how like that web of social media works of like, hey, I've been following and liking a lot of content from these folks. And then I started to notice that people who follow just me are now following that content creator. And so it's like this little web that gets stronger because everyone is sharing like their stuff, and that's really fun.
What has been your favorite queer representation in media right now?
Growing up, Noelle Stevenson was a comic book artist that I really enjoyed. She was a graduate of MICA, the Maryland Institute College of Art. She created Lumberjanes, and Nimona. Shit, this is something we should look up. No, she's a comic book artist that I've really enjoyed. And so to see that she recently got top surgery was also really great because I discovered her really early. I think I was in middle school going into high school. And this was back when I thought I wanted to pursue graphic design, and I was like, oh my gosh, Noelle is going to MICA. That's where I want to go. And so it's been really interesting to see how her journey with gender and like self-presentation has gone. And she's just one of my favorites to watch, like create as far as creating content goes, and also just like how she presents herself and explores her body. And so it makes my heart warm and fuzzy to see how she has grown as I am growing. The fact that you can literally craft a set to create a world for whatever story it is you're telling is really, really rad. But the fact that you can then elevate it by how you perform in that, like on that set that was constructed, to truly like bring in others into this world that you have created and helped build is really, really cool. Also, there is something to be said about carpentry and lighting and wardrobe and all of the other departments for teaching you very valuable life skills as a human being. So, you know, that's really, really cool. I also grew up with I have grown up with two older brothers who are both engineers. So I think it was inevitable for me to like find something that was very hands-on while also very, I think the word is cerebral, where like you really put your mind to work. But I also was really bad at math and sciences growing up, so it was bound to be something artistic.
Hey there, Gamage. It's nice to have you here. We are moving into our next segment, which we love to call Color Me Queer, which is a fast, speedy round of questions so we can get to know you, the theater artist, a little bit more this Pride. Okay, so first question. Who is your first queer crush?
LaRue.
Okay. Favorite feature of your first crush?
I don't know if it was a feature, but like the song Bulletproof is forever an anthem.
Your top 3 cartoon crushes or character crushes?
Cartoon crushes. Okay. Ooh. Korra from Legend of Korra is the top crush.
Oh my God, are you like gay?
That's why I'm here. Yeah, so okay, Legend of Korra is my first crush. Boomhauer from King of the Hill.
Oh my God.
And let's see, who would my third crush be? I feel like this should be very easy. Like I should be able to pull these names out of thin air. I don't know if okay, do video game characters count?
Yes.
Okay, Shiva is a Guardian Force monster that you can fight as in the Final Fantasy series. And so she's specifically in Final Fantasy VIII, and her cutscene was definitely one that like I would mimic and recreate. Also, I think I would like to redact my second cartoon crush answer of Boomhauer from King of the Hill and replace it with the entirety of Winx Club.
Yes. And with poppin' or floppin', it's very simple. We're gonna give you a person, a place, a thing, a moment, a feeling, and you're gonna tell us if it's poppin' or if it's floppin'. Sounds pretty good, Gamage?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing we got is friends with benefits. Poppin' or floppin'?
Poppin'.
Brunch.
Floppin'. It's expensive.
Ooh, OnlyFans stars. How do we feel about OnlyFans stars?
Poppin'. Also expensive,
Okay.
but poppin'.
Neck tattoos.
In my heart, yeah, poppin'. I would never get one, even though I would like one, but poppin'.
Okay. And blind dates?
Floppin'. That's too much trust.
Mhm. Babysitting.
Ah, floppin'. I'd rather cat sit.
Okay. The Oscars?
Poppin'. That's the one award show I do watch, and the Tonys.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
Fracking is bad, but poppin'.
Okay. TikTok influencers?
Floppin'. I watch all of my TikTok content on Instagram Reels. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh. That's like me 2/3 of the time.
Unpaid internships.
Floppin'. Oh my gosh. Hard flop.
Okay. Car dates?
I'm a fan of driveway moments, so I'm gonna say poppin'.
Broadway movie musicals.
Floppin'.
Okay.
Really
Sorry.
bad. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Crop tops?
Poppin', without a doubt.
Ellen DeGeneres.
Floppin'.
Happy hours?
Poppin'.
People watching.
Popping. Oh my gosh, that's my life. I love it.
And dating apps?
Poppin'.
Okay.
Hey.
Well, that wraps up Poppin' or Floppin'. Has your queer identity clashed calmly or more chaotically with your cultural or ethnic background and community?
I think, well, I grew up really westernized and very Americanized. Like I don't speak Sinhalese, which is a language that my family speaks. I'm also not out to my family, but I know that my dad especially does not support the LGBTQ plus community. My mom, I think, has begrudgingly accepted it, or accepts that like I am not as cis and heteronormative as she wanted me to be. Um, I think her end goal is that I give her grandchildren. Unfortunately, don't think that's going to be the case. But I I don't know if I can really say clash if I never came out to my family. So like it's tricky, and I'll it's tricky. But I do appreciate that in my professional life I have always felt more than welcome to be true to who I am.
What does chosen family mean to you?
I mean, with family, you're never always gonna get along with them super well. So I mean, it's more about having people who will be in your corner, even if they don't see eye to eye with you. Because I mean, I have recently started to have more of a relationship with my oldest brother, which has been really cool to explore. And he is also learning more about the LGBTQ community, and that's really cool. But for the longest time, like I didn't have any kind of openness about that aspect of my life with my family, and so it was um, it was tricky, and I definitely relied a lot on the chosen family. I think I prefer community that I found doing like theater and extracurriculars, and like as I kind of left the academic world and getting into the professional world, like I definitely found some coworkers that I like vibed really well with, and that I would spend time with off the clock, that I really enjoyed. So I think it's really about finding people that you can work together with, you can work well together with, to not only like better whatever you're working on, be it like a project or a show or like your actual like community surroundings, but who will also help better you as an individual. And if you can better help build up the people you have found community with.
I have to ask, do you ever feel disconnected from the queer community? Or if so, how?
All of the time. It's tricky. So I feel like working in production, it's definitely still got a couple of folks who are coming from like the old school mentality of like it's like an old boys club, and you know it's like a family business, so it's like my dad was in the like stagehand union, and so my son's gonna come up in the union, and like dad's dad was union, etc., etc. And so like it's tricky. I also think that the lighting industry in particular still has an awful lot of straight white guys in the industry, and that's not a bad thing. Some of them are really great, some of them not as great. But it's been tricky to not see more folks that look like me, especially as someone who's a darker skinned Asian person. I I don't think I've ever really seen anyone who looks like me on job sites except maybe once or twice. So it's been tricky.
With our last question, what makes you feel seen as a member of the queer community, both in theater and out?
Um, I I really do feel like I like choosing to go by my last name, Gamage, has been one of the greatest things I could do for myself, because I think it really helped elevate myself, just because I felt more confident in how I presented myself, but also because like you're not ever going to run into another Gamage on a job site. And the number of times where like I have shown up on site and people recognize me, or they'll hear my name and they're like, wait, oh my gosh, that's you. Like I know of you. And it's like, wait, you do? How so? And it's just because like, I don't know, like when your names are very important. And so I think that by really coming into my own and choosing to go by just my last name, like that was probably one of the greatest things I could have done. Because I've noticed too that I'll meet people who say like, oh, well, pronouns are really hard. Like, I don't really get the whole they, them thing. It's not proper grammar. Which like at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. How I identify matters more than proper grammar. But like while a person may struggle with my pronouns, they'll put more of an effort, or they get my name immediately. And I think that that has been really really positive for me, as I move throughout my career, to have that be a constant. um,
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, you've given us such colorful answers, and you've been authentically yourself throughout this whole process. So thank you so much.
Of course.
And that wraps up Shades of Me.
It's fun.